Hey there, comic book fans. I'm John Andersen, and I just watched episode 18 of Gotham, and it was pretty good. Clearly, they're trying to tie up all the loose ends so that way I have a nice, clean end of the season. But before I go any further, keep in mind I'm going to be going through key plot points from the episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, here is your spoiler warning. And there it goes. We first see Barbara trying to reconnect with Jim, but given their history, Jim isn't so quick to trust her. And in their short exchange, she sees that he's reopened the Wayne murder case and is after this person called the Lady, who we saw earlier in the season as this assassin for hire kind of character. So as it turns out, the Lady is in this all-female club, and Jim needs Barbara's help to get to her. And at first we think Barbara's going back to Crazyville because she gets Jim captured, but it becomes apparent that she's just using this as a ruse to get information out of the Lady, and they find out the person that set up the Wayne murder went by the codename The Philosopher. And it became very clear that this was a way for Barbara to try to win Jim's trust, but given the fact that she threatened Lee's life, he can never trust her, and that sends her back to Tigress and Bruce's house, which it seems that after this whole episode of trying to convince us that Barbara's good, they're just going to make her bad again, and that's super frustrating because, like I said last episode, just please make up your mind with this character, and they've still yet to do that. Then we see Bruce, Alfred, and Lucius doing the same thing, investigating the Wayne's murder, and in tracking Thomas Wayne's computer, they're able to find this name, Karen Jennings. But as the episode goes on, we learn that Karen Jennings was the first patient in this Pinewood program, started by Thomas Wayne as a biology program to help people with deformed or missing limbs to regrow that body part. Which explains Karen's claw hand, which is very reminiscent of Wolverine, given all the claw marks around her apartment. But as we find out later, the person that Thomas put in charge of the Pinewood program obviously had other plans in torturing and using these people as slaves, who we later find out is Hugo Strange, aka the Philosopher. Which makes sense given when Thomas finds out that this is what Hugo is doing. Hugo has the Waynes killed, and the project is shut down, but is started once again by Hugo as the Indian Hill Project. Then we get the reintroduction to Mr. Freeze, who's looking a lot like Billy Idol these days, and they did the one thing that I didn't want them to do, which was they made him a meaningless henchman because they killed his motivation, and he's only in this episode to kill Karen. So by the end of the episode, Bruce, Jim, Alfred, and Lucius discover that Hugo Strange is the person behind all of this, but on the flip side, Hugo Strange also knows that they're looking for him, so that'll be a nice, clean, straight shot to the season finale, if I ever saw one. And the final tidbit of the episode, we see that Hugo Strange has been working with this Patient 44 person that we don't know who it is, but it turns out that he's been trying to bring Theo Galvin back to life, and he's obviously going to go after Bruce Wayne next episode. And given the promos, it seems like they're going to turn Theo Galvin into Azrael, who in the comics is kind of like a Red Hood character who feels that Batman isn't doing a good enough job. And if they just make it somebody who's trying to kill Bruce Wayne, that defeats the whole purpose of the character. But again, we'll have to wait and see next episode. So that's my thoughts on episode 18. If you guys like this video, be sure to share and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook at John Ryan Andersen or on Instagram and Twitter at The Comic Book. And remember guys, as always, comics do deserve a second look.